Okay, this is Aaron again with Exalted Lamb 1. And man, on my part 2 here, I have so much to get into. I don't know how much I'm going to get into. I've got so much. I'm just bursting at the seams. In fact, I had to stop working. Fortunately, with my job, I have some flexibility and I'm pretty much my own business. So I can basically stop and start anytime I want. And I really feel like the Lord compelling me to do this right now. And I'm prepped enough, even though I could be prepped so much more and put these things together like I have before, but that takes hours. It really does. It's, if you understand how to make these videos, or I mean, people do it different ways, but I mean, I like to put them in order and in one program and just do all this kind of stuff and map it out and everything. Right now, I'm again doing it quick and dirty, so please, forgive me for all this, but I've got to get it out to you guys. There's so much here. There's so much going on. Oh my gosh, and June 6th, June 9th, I think, and I'm going to say again ahead of time, I am speculating. I am a speculator, okay? I'm not prophesying, you weird, religious people that say false prophet and whatever. I'm just speculating. I don't know when the time is and all that. That's just the way it is. So on my part 2, I want to cover a lot of things I didn't cover. In fact, I'm sorry, my part 1 ended so abruptly because I basically pulled out of my phone, and I do this on my phone to make it quicker so I don't have to spend a lot more time on a computer and stuff. And I pulled out my phone and I got into personal stuff, and it was like I had to quickly edit it and get it out, and it was late, and I didn't have any sleep that night. And fortunately, the next day I got a lot of sleep, which was so helpful. Anyway, without further ado, I want to cover a few things that I missed from last video. Just a couple things. Now, I mentioned the 600. If you watched part 1, then you'll know what I'm talking about. If you haven't watched part 1, so that's iPad Go 2 solved, the birth, part 1. Actually, part of it says 529 is 329 backwards. And if I didn't clarify that either. So let me just real quickly clarify that. What I mean by that, and which in this title as well, is 529, May 29th. May is really the 3rd month, going back to the Julian calendar. The Julian calendar, and really God's calendar really starts in the spring. So it's really March, April, May is 1st, 2nd, 3rd. And these guys, these psychos and these people that do all this stuff, and they're into their evil numerology and all that stuff, and God's got his numerology, which is all wonderful and good, and it's in the Bible and everything, but they use all these symbols and stuff, and they base numbers on past things. Like, for example, all language is, especially English and Greek and Hebrew, is based on numbers and things, and I'm going to talk about gematria and everything even more on this video. So but these numbers relate to the actual real months. So the months we're in the 3rd month. May is the 3rd month. Okay, so that's why 529, May 29th, is really 923 backwards. Okay, and I think I've figured this out, what 923 really means. I had a dream. As some of you know, not a lot of you maybe watch all my videos, of course, or most of them, maybe even, since I started the day after Barack Obama's birthday, when the Lord really told me to start doing these videos, and that it related to him as well. So it's really crazy because I started putting these videos together, and I had this dream about 923, America is laid low, and I have a video on that. You can check that out. I don't remember what I called it, but anyway. And so ever since then, I've seen tons of thousands of movies and TV shows and all kinds of media. 923 hidden all over the place, backwards, upside down. It's been phenomenal, as I've shared before. Some of you that know. And so it's always been this code. What is the deal? Well, I'm convinced now that 923 is all over the place. And I'm going to show some of that right now, or in this video. So I want to hit iPad Go. Before I do that, I want to mention the 600 I was talking about, as far as the 600 residents of Weber's Falls, where there's 2 barges basically collided into Weber's Falls Lock and Dam. The 600 was residents, and I knew that was a false thing. and there may be around 600, but it wasn't 600. And that's actually was Noah's age during the flood, when the flood started. So that's pretty crazy too. There's so much with that. And so I was saying, from that day that happened, then all these articles were showing 6 days later to me that May 29th was possibly the birth of both the Antichrist, the beginning, and the birth of the male child into heaven, like in Revelation 12, okay, in the Bible. So I'm going to get into more of that stuff here and explain that. But that's something I want to mention. I forgot to mention that. And another thing I forgot to mention was that we're talking about something did happen yesterday. A couple things, and I'm going to get into what those were. And I said it would be water or flood related, and it was. And then I mentioned on my last video that the things that happened on May 22nd, May 23rd in Israel were the fires, and then in the United States at Weber's Falls with those barges was water, fire and water. And I did not expect to see water and fire again May 29th. And so I'm going to talk about those. And I was right. There were events that happened that were so super amazing significant. And there's tons of code involved, which I'm going to show. But first I want to show... the other thing I want to mention was the Hoover Dam is another thing I forgot to mention. And a lady mentioned it, Calvin something, or I don't know why she has maybe it's a guy with a female's icon. I don't know. I think it was Calvin something. Anyway, you know who you are. The Hoover Dam, and I go, oh no, I forgot to mention that. And that was another possibility. Hoover Dam is going to blow. It's on the $50 bill. I'm going to show this when it's folded a few times. Also, the nuclear attack on New York and the waves going over buildings is on the $100 bill. If you don't know that, I might link a video showing those. But those are there, and those, add to all the evidence of these attacks that are going to happen. So one of the things is the Hoover Dam. So I'm going to show that to you as well, and where I think the symbolism, even connected with Weber's Falls, with those two barges that hit Weber's Falls a few days ago, 6 days ago, 7 days ago now. Okay, so let me start with this. This is iPad Goat again, and I'm just going to really focus on this section of timeline, okay? Again, I'm speculating about these things, but these are crazy how they hit. And I found in this section some very interesting things with the apple rolling, and it looks like it's from when the apple falls, it's 11 days. I got a lot more things to show. It's just, I got so much. I'm bursting at the seams here. There's too much. I cannot show most things I know that you should probably know, but I'm going to try to get to the main things that you need to know, especially for the dates that are coming and what may be coming. Again, may be coming. Okay, the Lord doesn't come down from heaven and stand in front of me and say, hey, this is when this is going to happen exactly, this is when this is going to happen exactly. He shows me things at different times, and some of them have a bit of a riddle to them, where I have to search him out, I have to get closer to him. I mean, there's so many reasons why he does what he does. And it's for reasons. It's for love, it's for free will, it's for a lot of things. And so as I draw closer to him and ask him and, want more stuff to share with people, to help save people with him, then he shows me more things in his time and his way. That's the way it works. So here's Lily. She's the character with the 12 figures behind her, and it starts to darken. Okay, and I'm going to start playing that here. I'm going to slow it down here. It starts to darken and talk. Try not to put the sound on here too much. It was way too loud last time. I apologize. So again, those things you don't notice until it's too late after you've made the video. But she starts to go down, and she looks like she's in pain, and she's like, and then she drops the apple. Okay, now keep in mind, this is a big apple. This is not a normal size apple. When it shows it up close, even more, it's really big. So it's a big apple, which is New York. That's, the ball that drops in Times Square, the ball was an apple, as J.K. Bugout pointed out a long time ago, a couple years ago or whatever it was. It also has on it, which I've shown in my videos, the apple has written on it Hawaii upside down and backwards, which I've shown. And it also shows a volcano erupting on the other side of the apple, and also a big tsunami wave on one side of part of the apple. So the apple's got a lot going on that's hidden in it. So we're talking about the attack on New York being the Big Apple, and at the same time the attack on New York, or the East Coast, with New York and the East Coast, and how that plays out. Okay, so and then she's going to drop this thing. Okay, so here it goes. All right, and then right here, 1. Okay, so what I showed before was right here. Let me go back to the TAD, actually. Okay, it's hard to get this exactly right, but okay. So there's a spot on the apple which kind of I thought it might have been a moon cycles and all that. And maybe it was, and I haven't really thought about it since then. But it definitely was like that's a sun, and so those are days. And then I found each thing when I started rolling back and forth that it's a day, and I'll show that to you. And I've shared this already to some degree, but I want to share it again and then break it down. So what I'm saying is when she's dropping the apple on her dress, I guess I'll go back a little bit more. Okay, on her dress down here, okay, it says 923. In the light areas right here, in the light areas, not the dark, it's a 9. It's kind of around the dark areas is 9, and then this is a 2 upside down and a 3 backwards. Okay, so it's 329 or 923, and 329 is May, which is really the 3rd month, 29th. And so I believe that's a birth. And like I said, it's kind of hidden. She was looking like she was in pain or something, or depressed or something. And so I'm like, okay, that's maybe a birth. And I was getting stuff about birth because I was gonna have twins, and which is crazy. It's the yin and yang and all this stuff going on. Oh man, you'll be blown away when I show you about the yin and yang thing. Oh my goodness. And I've shared this a little bit in other videos, but it finally nailed. It hit it on the head this time for these days. I'm so blown away. So 329, May 29th, I'm saying it's very possibly the birthday. Okay, and then there's days where things play out. You have the 8th day in the Bible talks about in Leviticus, the 8th day the male was circumcised and presented in the temple. Okay, so we have 8 days after that when I believe Obama's going to be presented, and maybe even when we are raptured. Or one rapture starts or something. I'm going to share that with you, what I'm thinking about this and speculating about this. Okay, so that means the day. So let's just say for argument's sake, and I may be wrong, I'll probably be wrong. Okay, but let's just say for argument's sake that this is the apple drops on May 29th. Okay, so that is a birth. Okay, so here we go. Okay, it was going to roll once, and I'm going to go back, slow it down a little bit. Once, twice, 3 times. Okay, I forget where I'm at here. But it'll mark it out for you when it gets to the 7. It's the 7th roll, and you can look at this if you look at it yourself. So that's the 7th roll, okay? And then right here, it hits Obama's foot right there. And like I've mentioned before, that's the 8th roll, or the 8th day. Where it hits his foot is the 8th day, okay? And why I said that is because when it rolls past this crescent moon shaped thing, the white C, it's 8. So this apple and this thing make it 8, and it hits his foot on 8. Okay, and then I mentioned, okay, and then right here, back, this stops. Okay, it stopped. It rolls back to the left and then stops, and this is 9. So if you go look right here on his foot, okay, right on his foot right here, it's the shadow of this stem makes an I, like a Roman numeral I, and then there's this thing on his foot that's going this way, and then the shadow of the leaf makes this crossways. So this is an X. It's IX, which in Roman numerals is 9. 1 from 10 is 9. So it's 8 this way. I'm sorry, 8 hitting his foot, 9 going back this way, stopping, and then now watch. We're gonna go this way again. 10 and stop. Okay, now we have again the cross thing right here, the X. That's 10. That's the 10th day. Okay, after the birth, remember, which is May 29th. And then it goes back the other way again. Okay, and by the way, you can see the volcano right here. See this right here? See the volcano? And I've shared this so many times, I don't know why I'm sharing it, but a lot of you don't know. There's a volcano, there's lava coming, this is Kilauea shooting up, and as this splits, it cuts off a section of the Big Island, this is Kilauea. And again, it says Hawaii on it. We know the Big Island has the 4 big volcanoes, and the Kilauea has been going off as of last year, which is crazy because it's been going off as of May, I think it was 5th or 6th, which is right in this time frame, it's like an anniversary day. Anyway, the crack happens here. The section of Earth that's, or the island that's on Big Island, which is called Helenas, or the East Rift Zone, which is right above a Helena slump, which is a 1,000 feet drop off. It's going to split, and then this thing is going to erupt, and that split of that Earth falling into the ocean is going to cause a mass tsunami that's going to go across the Pacific, which, you know, a lot of you don't, some of you know, some of you don't know, whatever. And then so that was 10. That back towards his foot, and then back this way was 11 when it splits. Now, how do we know that's 11 when it splits? Well, because the leaf here, right here, which is showing right here, has an 11. It's an 11. The leaf is an 11, okay? And then it's leaning back on Obama's foot. So I think this is representing a tsunami in the west coast, which is touching Obama's foot. And I believe this is the east coast. And I've shown that in the woman's eye, the lady that's in the phallic symbol prison, if you know the iPad Go 2 at all, she, in her eye, I've blown up her eye, which most people can't see unless it's high def and you blow it up. There's two, look like either submarines or sharks, or there's maybe supposed to be both, that she sees, and she's on the East Coast. The woman is a conglomeration of, Maryland, Delaware, I mean, these different states on the East Coast. She represents several things. She represents Israel being old. She represents the whore of Babylon, which is the United States. I mean, we represent several things. Anyway, so this is the 11th day. Okay, and then maybe going into a few days later or the same day, I'm not sure. These two, basically right here on that day, possibly, this is, remember I said before, this represents a submarine for his foot. And then missiles launch up from the submarine. That's what these are coming up. You got submarines here on the East Coast, one submarine on the West Coast. They launch a missile from the water. This is a submarine. Launch, and they both do it at the same time and hit the coast. And then you have, boom, you see a missile right here. Right there, missile, right there, missile. Because they're both done at the same time. Now this could be the next day or two or three after the apple splits. We could have a tsunami that happens because there's a tsunami wave. As soon as it splits, I mean, it looks like there's a tsunami wave right here. And this could be the final 3 days thing later, which is the nuclear explosion. This is going to be a nuclear explosion right here. Several nuclear explosions in the United States. And that's what I'm sure this means. Okay, nuclear explosion. So, okay, so you get the idea here. So anyway, so we have the 8th day after the 29th, which is, guess what? It's June 6th. Okay, it's June 6th. 6/6. And then if you take 2019 and add it up, 2 + 1 + 9 is 12. That's another way of saying 6/6. 12 is 6 + 6. So it's 6/6/6/6. Or it's some other things too. But, and then 3 days later, possibly what I'm saying, and for a number of reasons, because the signaling on a lot of these events I'm talking about is showing 6/6, and then 3 days later, 6/9. Okay, and it's interesting that this apple would hit Obama's foot 8 days after the 29th, so 6/6, and he, like I said, he is the Antichrist. I've shown it so many times. There's over 300 reasons why I have provable that he is the Antichrist. His name is Barack Obama, lightning falling from heaven in Luke 10:18. I mean, so many things. It goes and goes and goes. It's insane. But on the 8th day, it hits his foot. The 8th day after May 29th is 6/6, and then 3 days later is 6/9, okay? 6/9, June 9th in Israel is Pentecost. Okay, so we're looking at a possible rapture in Pentecost. Okay, and to me, that's made sense for a lot of reasons. Pentecost, okay, is the last feast to be fulfilled, or so we think, or so some people think, or a lot of people think, or whatever. But Pentecost wasn't completely fulfilled, though. Because guess what? The church became, or they got the Spirit of God that came upon them, like cloven tongues of fire, which is there's the fire thing, which is so much, the enemy is going to represent fire, and all kinds of stuff. And then basically, so that's 50. Pentecost is 50 days after, right? And then, so there's a lot of things that I'm going to show you that kind of are equal to Pentecost that are just being signaled all over the place. Okay, so you have Pentecost. Well, this is first when people got Holy Spirit, and before that was when Jesus ascended, right? And he fulfilled the first fruits and all those feasts before that. Okay, but it hasn't been fulfilled completely, maybe. Okay, because the child has not been born yet. Okay, Jesus was born into heaven as the head of the body of Christ, which is also called the bride of Christ, which is a section of the body, which is the faithful ones who will be basically, I'm saying, will be raptured first. The unfaithful ones will stay on earth to go through tribulation, to go through. Some will go against God because there'll be those fish that jump into the sheep head fish or goat head or sheep head fish or something like that jump into the Antichrist boat on iPad Go 2 here, without me going into it here. And a lot of people have to go through tribulation to change their hearts and really follow Jesus for maybe the first time in their lives, or maybe go back to following him when they completely forsook him and all kinds of stuff. Okay, so but I think the possible full fulfillment of Pentecost could be the body of Jesus. He was the head, born into heaven, and then his body being born into heaven to unite with him could be the full fulfillment of Pentecost, basically. Okay, in a nutshell here. Okay, so and Pentecost is 6/9, June 9, and it's not, it's the Enoch calendar, or it's this calendar, that calendar. No, it's what Israel as a whole is celebrating, as a government is celebrating, because that's how you know that. Well, it's not, they're not correct. I know they're not biblically correct. They're not God's correct feast days and times and days and all that kind of stuff. However, what proves that God's going to go by that is because he wants to bring Israel back to him during the tribulation. And so let's say if we end up with Israel as a nation celebrates Pentecost on 6/9, June 9th, and we disappear, or people disappear, and it's the first part of that, or when this starts, Jews are going to realize, hey, Christians have left, people have disappeared on Pentecost, and then they'll probably be promoted to jealousy. And that'll start the process of God showing them the real truth, that Jesus was the Messiah and all that stuff, okay? It's crazy. This is really crazy, all this stuff that's coming together for me. And that's a very big possibility. So I'm going to get into some other things right here. So what I'm looking at is May 29th, of course, being the birth, possibly, okay? This is my hypothesis, okay? And then 8 days later, representing the circumcision and the presenting into the temple, which is going to be the false presenting of Barack Obama in some way, maybe on 6/6, or maybe he's going to be shot in the head, because the Bible says the Antichrist is going to get a head wound. It's very possible he could be shot in the head, possibly on 6/6, and maybe 3 days later on 6/9 he recovers. And then maybe the rapture starts or something. I don't know. I'm speculating about some of these things. And at some point on 6/6 or 6/9, there will be these tsunamis, or there'll be maybe on 6/6 there'll be the Hoover Dam might go, or maybe the Orville Dam, possibly. And then maybe on 6/9 there'll be the mega tsunamis, and then right after that, maybe on 6/12, which is also 666. Could be the final nukes, and then the rest of the Bride of Christ goes or something. I'm speculating about this time, but I want you to I want to warn you about possible things. So when this happens and this comes, hey, this has been known, and God's putting this together, and the enemy is trying to falsify what God has done and his plans forever, of course. Okay, so let me go. So now that I have this kind of as a pattern or something, a possible pattern. Now I'm going to kind of support it with some stuff here. Okay, let's pause this. Okay, so like I said, a couple more things I want to cover before I get into this right here, because there's so much cover. I'm missing so many things even now. It's crazy. But 5/29, like I mentioned, is the possible birth, is also 5/11. And like I said before in my other videos, months before my children were born, my two sons were born, my twins, God showed me, I was driving, and I saw a license plate and it said TWO-511, and it just stuck out so much more than anything else for a while that I've experienced. And I'm like, 2 on 5/11, and so I thought, hey, this might be I didn't know what it was exactly, but I knew it was a message without a doubt. If God communicates with you in different ways, he communicates with me in several different ways, and one of those ways is just stupid things like license plates, or billboards, or his voice. Just so many different things. He uses confirmations in life to confirm what he's told you in your spirit, in your mind, or whatever, in your heart, your soul, whatever it is. Okay, so 511, he said TWO 511. So my boys were brought home from the hospital on 511. And I believe that's possibly saying that we're going to be home on 511. Also, 511 is 529. So 2 plus 9 in the 529, which is May 29th, 2 plus 9 is 11. So that's the 511. And also, like I mentioned, I looked up 511 in the Hebrew Strong's Concordance and the Greek Strong's Concordance. And Hebrew was God takes his possession in Hebrew, 511 was. And then 511 in Greek was to a higher place. It's like, what? So that's showing me the birth and that God's going to be bringing. And so this, but it's a process probably. So the birth, and then there's a presentation at some point into the Holy of Holies or into heaven, and then there's a presentation of the Antichrist on earth, which is Barack Obama. Okay, so and I think that's all I want to cover on that as far as 529. There's probably some other things I'm missing, of course, but okay, so what was this? What happened yesterday? What happened on 529? May 29th? Well, I said something water would happen probably, okay? Probably, and it did. And then I didn't have any idea that something with fire would happen also, and it did. Okay, and then there's all these links to this day and the future days I'm talking about. Okay, so what is this? This is courtesy of my brother, Logic Before Authority, Daniel Cannon. Oh God, it's some things I try to remember. Anyway, he did a video about this, and I've been looking up, details of different things. And then instead of trying to pull up I do Venture Sky and some other stuff, and he sometimes, I don't know what he has sometimes, where he pulls up some of these things that he's done with weather and stuff. But I'm going to lean on him a little bit. So thanks, brother. And I'm mentioning you, Logic Before Authority. If you guys don't know him, he brings up all kinds of truth things, stuff that is it blows your mind. Anyway, so I love my brother, even though he's a bit too critical of me at times for me rambling. But I love you anyway, brother. Anyway, so what is this? This was going on yesterday. Okay, what is this? This is a storm, is a crazy intense, with all these little dots here, is all these lightning strikes and stuff, and it turns into different colors, and it's so huge. Where was this? What happened here? Right in the center of this thing, guess what? Is Weber's Falls, where I mentioned in my last video all this information about Weber's Falls Lock and Dam, where these two barges hit Weber's Falls Lock and Dam. Okay, and I got more to share with that. But this thing happened on the 29th. Like I said, 6 days later, something from the 22nd, 23rd might happen, and it did. And it was in the same exact location, Weber's Falls, of where those barges hit. The two barges. I'm going to talk about this. And to get you a scope of what this is, check this out. Okay, look at all this activity. And you can see the white and purplish in the center, which is super rare, that storms get that much on Doppler or whatever it is. On the radar here. It's so bad. Now, lightning strikes were several, maybe 7 or 8 per square mile. It was insane. And I'm gonna link Daniel's video into my description box. I have a link there, so you can check that out if you want to check it out, what he says about it, and his channel. Check out his channel if you don't know about it. Oh, that's nice. All right, so I'm turning off notifications here. All right, anyway, and then, but let me give you a perspective on this. Okay, see this guy? Now look at the whole United States. And this whole day, this was the worst storm. Look how big it was, and look where it was on the United States when not much was going on really in the United States at the time. And there's a little bit going on in the Atlantic here, but I mean, look at this. So that was significant for the United States yesterday. So that really points the significance out, okay? Now, I mean, it's crazy. This thing is massive. Okay, so now I'm going to go to talking about it in more detail here. Okay, but before I do that, I want to show you one more thing, which is very pertinent to this time frame. Okay, again, I'm going to miss stuff, and I just remembered, and it's crazy. So you have this goat in the beginning of iPad Go 2, okay? And I'm going to play this here. Okay, but watch. These hands, the hands of Draco, the dragon, right? Okay, and here he comes up here, right here. Boom. Oop. I'm going to go back just a tad. Oh, man. Sorry. Okay, here he is right here. Okay, and I believe this is a time frame here. Okay, finally, I've been looking at possible time frames. Like I've said before, right over here on his fingers where they're bloody is 923. Okay, I gotta pull my pen back out here. All right, so 923 is 923. It is bloody from this right here, and I believe this is a bloody pig. There's a snout right here, and there's a pig. We're in the Chinese lunar calendar year of the pig, as I've shared before in my other videos. Went rooster. Year of the rooster was 2017. Year of the dog was 2018. Year of the pig. And what I've really come to understand is that a lot of scenes in iPad Goat are all 3 years. 2017, 2018, and 2019. Building up all this symbology and all these different things, showing the build up to 2019, from 2017, 2018, and then finally 2019. And so this is showing maybe all 3 years, but it's showing this time frame, which I believe. So this is the year, and this 923 has to do with this, the timing in the year of the pig. This is a pig right here, bleeding, and there's a snout up here and everything, and you can hard to see his ears are right on top there if you zoom this up. And then he's got this ring which looks like a snake. It's the Chinese lunar calendar month of the snake, which I believe goes from May 5th to June 2nd or 3rd, something like that. So we're in that time frame. So I believe that some of these things that you're talking about are going to happen within that time frame. And then we have another time frame, I believe, which is this. Now there's no 2 here, number 2. This is the Roman numeral 2, I guess, but it's really not. It looks like it is, but what it is this. I'm going to show you. Hold on, let me pause it. It's really this, Gemini. Okay, and some of you guys have said it in my comments, and I missed that yesterday. I really wanted to kind of talk about that. We're in Gemini. Gemini is from May 21st to June 21st. So we have 3 time frames here, and I believe it's going to. So I think the month of the snake ends the 2nd. So if you go by that, this got to happen before the 2nd, but also within Gemini. And of course, Gemini is the twins. Oh my goodness, isn't that crazy? I had twins, and God had me saying this message 9 months ago, something like that, a little over 9 months ago, about twins, about 2 sides of the coin, twin births, dark birth and a light birth. Okay, dark side of the coin, light side of the coin. What God's doing, what the devil's doing, at the same time, parallel to each other. Enemy's trying to cover up what God's doing and make it about him and make the Antichrist, the savior of the world, as the new Jesus. And a lot of people are going to fall for it, including fake Christians and real Christians. I mean, not really real Christians, but they're born again of God's Spirit, but they've just went their own way, and they're going to learn. And some are not going to learn, unfortunately. But Gemini is what that's showing, I believe. Okay, so we have 3 time frames possibly, and I'm going to put out a special thanks to Jeff Overholt and his channel, Jeff Overholt. He really brought to my memory the snake, and I knew it was Year of the Pig, and that we're in the Year of the Pig, and something was going to happen in the Year of the Pig, and that's what year we're in. And I knew of Gemini, but I didn't think of the snake with the S. I knew that's Satan. I know that's the serpent. I know I've looked at S being 19, which is probably somewhere in there and all that stuff. But thank you for that, and so a few other things you've mentioned about 12:3. Jeff, man, this is another thing. We're coming on to 12:3. You know what 12:3 is? I believe is also what the iPad Goat is showing, which is Revelation 12:3, which is about the dragon, and I will talk about that soon. But 12:3 very possibly is 6/6/2019, June 6, 2019, because 2019 is 2 plus 1, 1 plus 9 is 12. 1 plus 2, you got to keep adding them, so that's 12. 1 plus 2 is 3, so we have June 6th is 6/6, that's 12 together, and then 2019 is 3, that's 12/3. And that's when the dragon is revealed, which is the day of probably Obama, which is 6/6, and then 2019 is also 12 in this situation, which is also breaks down to 6/6. You have 6/6/6/6, and other things, many other things. Okay, so I'm covering some stuff I need to cover, thank God. So that is crazy. Okay, now I'm going to go back to this. Okay, so you remember the barges from the last video. If you have not watched my last video, last couple videos, and especially my last video, part 1 of this series, then watch it. It's only half an hour long. It's worth it to get some background of what happened 6 or 7 days ago now. Okay, the twin barges that were coming down Weber Falls that supposedly loosed or came loose. Yeah, right. They were loosed by people. They came loose on the 22nd and came down and smashed into the dam, the Weber's Falls Lock and Dam on the 23rd, which is all symbolism. And I'm going to show you more symbolism here. This is insane. They started separating here and it smashed into the falls, right? Okay, now, this is insane. I couldn't believe when I saw this. Okay, so let me go back through here real quick. Okay, so when they smash in, this is another camera angle on purpose, I believe. Okay, so notice something. Okay, this is what I see here. This is really weird. Okay, this is super weird and super like tingly to me. Okay, so you see these two barges. Now again, I said they were twin barges, dark and light. Okay, which the twin berths is pointing at. Okay, it's just crazy. And Noah's flood, which is there were 600 residents that were possibly going to be evacuated. Noah was 600 years old at the time of the flood. These are barges like Noah's Ark, was kind of like a barge or, whatever. It's crazy. These things are corrugated like this. See that corrugation here? Now, I'm going to show you why this is crazy, this corrugated. And you see this, as this thing falls, it looks like something's breaking open. And there's water here. It's pretty crazy. I'm going to go here and show you. There it is, the $50 bill. And look at this. This kind of looks like two barges. See how the corrugation here, right here, kind of looks like twin barges right here. And see the water in between them? I'll go back over this. But this, I'm sorry, but I'm seeing something. I don't know if you've seen that or not, but I am. And that is hitting home for me. And this is, by the way, this is the Hoover Dam also. This looks like a lot like the Hoover Dam, the way it's the side or the way it looks and everything. And these are buildings, of course, on the $50 bill. But, this is crazy. And the Hoover Dam, and I'm going to show you how the Hoover Dam lines up in gematria to these dates and times and stuff. It is insane. So it's going to give more emphasis to what I see and what I've been shown by the Lord and things. What I see is some things, and what I'm shown by the Lord is other things. Trying to put them all together to have an idea so you're warned and you understand that, there's something here. Jesus is real, man. Jesus is real. I know him. He has done massive things for me. I've had incredible dreams and visions from him about rapture, about a lot of these different events, about Obama, are you kidding me? I'm not just going by the Bible and what the Bible says, which it backs up everything I've seen, okay? But Jesus, he being the Spirit of truth, he being the truth in a man, he's the way, the truth, and the life. Nobody comes to the Father but through him. And if you don't have a relationship with him, you're missing everything. If you read the Bible and you don't know Jesus, or you're going your own way and doing whatever you think you should do each day, it's a huge mistake. And you're going to learn. You're going to learn it, hopefully, with what's coming right now. If you're alive right now and you're following Jesus and you're going to rapture, or you're going to go in the next rapture, possibly, hopefully. But right here, this is Hoover Dam breaking. Now, this is crazy, too. 50. Oh, my gosh. Oh, Lord, thank you. 50 is Pentecost. Okay? This may be on 6/9, June 9th, or June 6th. Now, I'm seeing a lot of stuff showing June 6th. Okay, but it's signaling the time frame of Pentecost, and that's 50. Blowing my mind. Two barges, water in between, breaking of a dam. They were sinking. It's showing sinking of a breaking of a dam. This might be pointing to Hoover Dam. I know this $50 bill and this fold and everything, which is in the shape of a pentagram. By the way, it's upside down. This is a home plate. Upside down, this is home plate. By the way, if you didn't know that, in baseball, it's all Masonic. The baseball, the home plate, the side, it's a diamond. All the dimensions of a ball field are Masonic. They're Freemason design. It totally is. And there's all kinds of symbolism in that. This, by the way, and what this is if you turn this upside down, just imagine you turn this upside down, just connect this dot to this dot to this dot, it's a pyramid. Upside down. And it looks flat right here, but when you take a line and draw it from here to here, draw a line from here to here, top corner to this bottom corner here, and this left top corner to this bottom corner, and it's upside down, that will make a three-dimensional pyramid. It's also folded in the shape of a pentagram also, which is right here. It's folded in the shape of a pentagram right here. Okay, and these are a couple different $50 bills that show this. Okay, and see how it looks like it could be the Hoover Dam. Okay, and they've signaled this. They had a person who parked on the middle of the Hoover Dam, and there's a lot of media coverage on that. I haven't even looked at the dates and how that match up with what's might be coming and all that stuff too. There's so much stuff coming. It's crazy. It's gonna blow your mind. I'm trying to give you some kind of heads up on it, the best I can, and show you that Jesus is alive. He's trying to help you. And if you don't know him at all or don't know him very well, get to know him, because he's your only savior. And what's coming, it's going to be a barrage of stuff. Bam, bam, bam. And it's going to knock you out, knock most people out. It's going to blow your mind. It's going to make you question so much. And they're going to have this massive deception with Obama being the Antichrist. People are going to think he's the Messiah. A lot of people already think he's the Messiah. It's crazy. I mean, he is loved worldwide. He has the biggest approval. He's probably, I think I saw a survey or a thing internationally, and he's the most known of figure in the world currently. That's one reason why he's the Antichrist. There's so many reasons. I have over 300. Okay, so I covered that as far as how it relates to Hoover Dam, but I'm gonna get into more stuff about that. Okay, now I want to put a special shout out to a guy who's commented on my video several times and has some crazy numbers, and I mean crazy as in good crazy. His name is 007 Stalled, STALLED 7, and he shows me some stuff that is hard to deny. Okay, and there's some crazy stuff. And some things I don't know if I agree with, but I mean, who has all right? Maybe he's all right. I don't see it. I mean, it's very possible. But he knows numbers. I don't know what you are, dude. If you're a engineer, or you just really good at numbers or whatever, math and all that stuff. But he sent me some stuff, and this one I definitely want to cover. And a couple things. One thing I want to cover is basically if you look at 6/6. Okay, 6/6, June 6, 2019. Okay, and remember, that's when the apple hits Obama's foot, I'm saying. Okay, basically a month earlier, exactly 1 month earlier, 5/6, was when Archie the royal baby was born. The British royal baby was born. Okay, is that a coincidence? But it's also it's 31 days before, which backwards is 13, which is rebellion. It's so many things. And then you had, and kind of attaching to that, well, like I mentioned, I didn't really get into more detail about that, was Theresa May. She resigned on 5/24. So 2 + 4 and 24 and 5/24 is 6. And that establishes Archie on 5/6. And it's Theresa May. So that says May is something's going to happen or has happened in my mind. Okay. And then Theresa May, the full name, Theresa means to gather in, and May means the powerful or noble woman. To gather in the noble woman. I mean, that's what her name means, and that's what's going to happen. God's going to gather up the bride of Christ, it's crazy. And they even signal the enemy and stuff. Even signal the good stuff that are happening at the same time, because they can't. God won't allow them not to, I guess, or something. I don't know. Okay, but I want to mention this. So, on this exact day, June 6th of 1944, the Allies stormed Beach Normandy on D-Day, okay? And right here it says, this is fact, basically starting at the 6th hour on the 6th day, which is June 6th of this, 6th hour was the 6th hour of June 6th, 6th day, 6th month of 1944, the Allied armies of the evil NWO based in England successfully crossed the English Channel. And that's what they're saying. But yes, ultimately, the enemy has worked in all these things for war on both sides. The global elites, they're the Rothschilds and the big barons from the 1800s and stuff, and even before that, they've capitalized on both sides of wars, and so both sides, in a way, were evil. Yes, and so this happened on 6th hour, the 6th day, the 6th month, 666, pointing to the future of the Antichrist, which is on June 6th of 2019. It's crazy. This is absolutely nuts. And guess what? This is it's June 6th this year will be the 75th anniversary of this storming of the Beach of Normandy, okay, of D-Day. And it's also called Operation Overlord. Are you kidding me? Like, why would they call it that? I always wondered. I know history a bit. I know a lot about World War II history and stuff, and it's very it fascinates me, and I love watching movies about it and documentaries and stuff about World War II. So Why would it be called Operation Overlord? I never understood that. Now I do. An overlord is someone who's over you and lord over you, and that is the Antichrist. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, here is information that's truth in front of your face. It's crazy. In front of my face. I cannot believe what I've been given. It's phenomenal. And I'm going to show you more confirmations of even that. Okay, Operation Overlord, right? That happened on that day. Now that's pointing to the Antichrist, okay? Now that happened, let's see here. What was the other thing I was going to say about that? Oh yeah, it was the 75th anniversary. Now again, they do things backwards and upside down, or sometimes just backwards, or sometimes just upside down. Now 75th anniversary backwards is 57. Obama is 57 years old right now. Are you kidding me? Obama's 57 years old right now. That is crazy. The 75th anniversary, and it's on 6/6. 12, which 2019 is 12, which, and then also 2 + 1 is 3, and it's crazy. But 12 is also 6 + 6, so it's 6666, and it's pointing to Obama again. And again, that 6/6 was when the apple hit Obama's foot, and you know Obama is the character in that iPad Go 2. That he's right there. Okay, are you kidding me? If you think Obama's not the Antichrist, wake up. I am showing you so much stuff, and I have over many videos. There's so much stuff about Barack Obama. It's just there's no one else. And then I'm going to show you in all the Gematria. William, Prince William doesn't come up. Prince Henry doesn't come up. Macron. I mean, all these people that think that Macron's the Antichrist. I mean, that makes no sense. Trump is the Antichrist. I mean, that's silly. Trump the Antichrist. Oh, really? I mean, really? No, Obama comes up in so much Gematria also, and I'm going to show that to you very soon. Okay, check this out. Now I was talking about 12/3, because 6/6, June 6th, 2019 is really 12/3. 2019 breaks down into 3. Okay, and it's also going from 9 to 3. They want to, 3 is important to them. This is the year of the 3. 2019 equals 3. 2 + 1 + 9 is 12. 1 + 2 is 3. Okay, and like I said, 923, or going from 9 to TO3 is what they believe, what these psycho-Luciferian global elites believe, okay? And that's through the Antichrist and one world government, one world religion, all that stuff. But look at it, 12, Revelation 12:3, another great sign appeared in heaven. Behold, a great fiery red dragon having 7 heads, 10 horns. Anyway, Planet X is going to show up, and you're going to not believe it. You're not going to believe your eyes. If you're still here when it happens, I think we're going to see it, and then we're going to leave. The ones who follow Jesus are going to leave right after that. It's going to be the next big sign. The first sign was the Revelation 12, the woman with the 12 stars above her head, clothed in the sun, moon under her feet, and all that stuff. The second sign, which is going to be when the male child is going to be right after that taken up, which is the other birth, the good birth. Okay, not the bad birth, not the good part of the twins. Okay, that's 12/3, and that's all over iPad Go. 12/3. Oh my gosh. There's a figure that's laying down, and half it's woman, half it's male, and there's a phallic symbol sticking up, and there's a woman in the phallic symbol, which is really sick and everything. But that is right at the birth canal is hidden 12/3 or 123, and that's probably this day, which is 6/6. I'm guessing. Okay. So 6/6. Oh wait, hold on. Where was that? Oh, that's Hoover Dam. I have it backwards. So Hoover Dam. Remember, I showed you Hoover Dam. And I said that something could happen very soon, and which is water related, and Hoover Dam sticks out right around that time. So look at this, Hoover Dam in English Gematria, and that's a big way they communicate to, people that know English, is the English Gematria, and in their whole mysticism and everything. But 6/6, June 6th, is Hoover Dam, and what equals that? Royal Baby, like I mentioned. Royal Baby, are you kidding? It was on 5/6 a month earlier, signaling 6/6. That's coming later. Okay. The Big Apple. The apple hit his foot on 6/6. 6/6. Are you kidding? There's probably more in these numbers. I haven't really looked at it too much. Okay, so that's crazy right there. I mean, okay, now let's look at Weber's Falls again. Weber's Falls, remember? And that's what happened yesterday. There was a massive storm over Weber's Falls 6 days after the barges hit Weber's Falls, okay? Not by coincidence. This is all planned. If you haven't got it by now, it's all planned. More proof is coming. Okay, so Weber's Falls equals in Gematria. And if you don't know Gematria, you can go to Daniel Cannon's his videos, he'll talk about gematria and what it is. I don't talk about too much because if you want to know, you look it up. Google it. Google gematria and what it means. But English gematria is basically English, which comes from England, is based on numbers. So is Hebrew, so is Greek. It's number based, okay? So the founders of these languages knew what letters and numbers would add up to, and they basically communicate with each other and to the world secretly through these certain words that equal certain things that they want them to equal. And it's all it's a religion, it's a communication system, it's predictive programming. If you don't know what that is, look that up. I mean, it is just crazy. So, and it ends up proving stuff out. It's really, so here's Weber's Falls. Remember, that's just what happened on the 23rd and yesterday. Equals I love you. Now, I talked in the last video about Mr. Rogers on the, it says I love you, which is 143 to his wife. Secretly, he said 143, which means I love you. Okay? And that, which is not a coincidence. All these things go back around and hit each other and connect each other. Now, I'm adding one thing here. Michael Jackson. Okay, I have not done videos on this, but I could. I have so much information. And the Lord just said, no, not yet. I've kind of shared some of it, but he doesn't want me to do a bunch of videos on this. But most stars that are killed, they go in threes. We just had 3 sports legends die in threes, these last 3. I mean, it's their simply, they kill them. They basically get fame through them, and then they're a sacrifice later that is a message. It's just insane. It's crazy. Michael Jackson is one of those. Now look at this. Remember this Weber's Falls that just happened. It's equated to Michael Jackson? Yes. How? Look, he died on June 25th, 2009. Now look from the 5 in the middle. 529. Going to the right. From the 5 in the middle, going backwards. 5, 2, and June is 6. But it's all 6 is upside down, which is 9. 529. 529 forward, starting with the 5. 529 backwards with the 6 upside down. Sometimes some things are upside down. Sometimes they're just backwards. Sometimes they're both. There's their rules, and they can just use them how they want. But it's pretty freaky sometimes. Michael Jackson was sacrificed, and his death was completely suspect. I mean, are you kidding the way that happened? I mean, you can look at a lot of these events I'm talking about, and they're so suspect. It's not, if you use your brain and you look at the evidence, I'm a detective at heart. If you look at the evidence, it doesn't add up. The circumstantial evidence of what happened with Michael Jackson's death, I'm not a fan, really. I mean, I was a fan at some point, but I kind of know what's going on in, a lot of different realms, not super amount. Some things I don't know much about, like I don't know a ton about sports, but I know enough to, know something. Yeah, this is crazy. So it's not a coincidence that Michael Jackson showed up at that, with Weber's Falls. I mean, are you kidding? Okay, so now I decided to go to Weber's Falls Lock and Dam, which is his full name. See, these things all over. Now look at 1212. Sometimes it's just in the number of the gematria in the name, and sometimes it's what it relates to. Sometimes it's both. 1212 is 6/6, 2019. Like I said, 2019 adds up to 12. And then 6/6 is 12. 1212. Okay, now let's keep going. What is it? Now remember 1212 here. Okay, now let me go over here. Let me go over to here. Okay, so we have 1212 is Rapture of the Saints. Oh God. Rapture of the Saints. Okay, on 1212, 6/6, 12. Okay, and then I think this was actually, I have this in the wrong spot. I think this was the Jewish gematria of it was Operation Overlord. Again, which circles back to the same thing, which this was 6/6, right? And then we have in Jewish gematria, which is in Hebrew, is Operation Overlord. And I just talked about Operation Overlord on 6/6 of 1944. Again, when these things go back in circles, and basic gematria is 222, and that 222 is all over the place, which is 6 also. It's crazy, okay? This is nuts. All right, now let's look at this. Okay, now I'm going to show you this here. What is this from? Okay, let me pause this and go to the actual... actually, I can just go there from here. I'm going to go to Internet... A lot to build up on this real quick. Okay, this is a story. Okay, so let me build up to this a little bit while it's loading. So my friend Aaron at Redeemed 44, my brother in Christ, awesome. He's a prophet, no doubt. I am prophetic in a lot of different ways, but he's more of a prophet. He's got a lot of dreams and visions and stuff, and it's pretty crazy. He's amazing. He's got an amazing heart. He knows about the heart and the heart of God and truth. Oh my gosh, he's awesome. Anyway, one of his dreams he had, and I mentioned before, one of his dreams he saw 50 tornadoes. It was a few months ago. And I immediately was thinking to myself, when he told me that, and I watched his video about it, and I'll put a link in the description box probably, if I remember to, probably will, about 2019 being the year, possibly in the springtime and everything. He had these different dreams about it. But he had this dream about 50 tornadoes. And now think about that. 50 is Pentecost. Okay, Pentecost. And the tornadoes is a mighty rushing wind, like the Spirit, that happened to Christians, the first Christians on Pentecost. It's awesome. Okay, so there's this article, okay, and he saw this and he told me about it, or he heard about this, and then I looked up these articles, and this AP Associated Press has done this article, and it's been reproduced in all these, like they do a lot, in all these news sources all over the country, and so they have this thing they want to say to people. That's all the signaling, all these secret codes in it, and it's crazy. So let me show you what this is. This is insane. So I started looking at this. 1 dead, 130 injured as twisters ripped through Ohio and Indiana. And there's the people from the Associated Press that did this article and everything, right? So I'm going through this. I'm just kind of sharing with you kind of my process when I went through this. So I'm reading this because he told me about this. I'm like 50. Yeah, that's crazy. And then there was tornadoes here, and I'm going through this. I'm checking it out. The storms were among 55 twisters that forecasters said may have touched down Monday across 8 states, stretching eastward from Idaho and Colorado. And past couple of weeks, and usually high tornado activity in the U.S. Anyway, so I went past that. And then I'm thinking, 55. Like, why would it be 55 when my brother saw 50? And I knew I really felt I was signaling to Pentecost as well. But 55, and so there's something in that. Why? You see, and I already know, and I've proven it many, many times. All these articles are false. They're fake. In so many ways, they're sometimes based on some real evidence, some real things that happen, but a lot of it's fake. Some of the people in there are fake. Some of the things are fake. Some of the numbers are fake, and some of them are real. And sometimes you can't really tell. But some things stick out for me, some weird phrases, some weird things sometimes. Like, why twisters? Why not tornadoes? Why 55? No, why not 50? Why not 51? Why not 57? I mean, whatever. And so I start investigating. A lot of times I'll do different things, but one of the things is gematria. Okay, and I'm not dabbling in whatever people say. I'm trying to do Ephesians 5:11, which is kind of crazy. 5:11, which is 5:29, which is 5:11 when I got from that license plate. But Ephesians 5:11 do not have anything to do with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose them. In a nutshell, another notification. Okay. But rather expose them. I'm exposing their methods. I'm not using their methods. I'm trying to look at what they do and expose it and show you for your benefit. And you people that believe this kind of drivel that you've said to me, grow up. I mean, seriously, grow up and understand truth. And probably you need to walk with Jesus and purify your heart more, because your heart has darkened your mind. So just so you know. Okay, so I'm reading this, and this is my process. So I went through here, and I'm reading it a little bit, and it says, the winds peeled away roofs, leaving homes looking like giant doll houses. And it just struck me. And maybe it's just me. Maybe you could see this too. I don't know. But God just smacked me with winds peeled away roofs. It just sounds weird. I don't know. It sticks out. And I already know what they're doing here and trying to put messages and stuff. So that said to me, that's a message. Winds peeled away roofs. And then giant doll houses stuck out to me as well. Giant doll houses. And this damage happened outside Dayton, Ohio. It's talking about with this picture and everything. And then 55 twisters. I went back to that. I also went back to, and so I'm saying this ahead of time because I'm going to go through the slides on my phone here. Okay. And then so I looked at that, and then I'm going to show you the order I looked at because I'm going to have these slides. I'm doing this a weird way. Normally I have all this in order, but and then I looked at Cattell Franco with the social, and I'm just like, okay, that's probably somebody's name, but what if it's a fake name? But what if it's just there for a message? And then I decided to look up John Mincio, whatever, however you say that. Okay, and it was weird. Now, okay, and I already, like I said, I already know these things are hidden in here. Okay, and I've proven it many times in my videos. But now let me go to that. Let me pause it. Okay, so winds peeled away roofs. Okay, so it's 1434. Okay, now, okay, what does that mean? You'll see. Simple gematria is, again, these things could have meaning because they relate to other words that they're really trying to signal, or they could have meaning in their numbers right here that you see, 1434, or both. Now look, 23-9, 23rd, 9th month, or 923 in a way backwards, 23rd of the 9th month, or whatever. Okay, it's right there in the simple gematria. Okay, now there's more. This is crazy. Okay, Barack Obama Barry Soetoro is 1434 in English gematria. Again, a lot of these things are pointing to Barack Obama in different ways. Obama is Satan. Barack Obama, Barack Hussein Obama, Barack Obama Barry Soetoro. Those are two of his names. He's had several names, which is another reason why he's Antichrist, because he's had several names, and he's so phony and so false. It's ridiculous. So there it is right there. That's two of his names he's had, which, Barack Obama's his current name, but that's in 1434. Keep going. I love you very much. So that really is, again, back to I love you thing with 143. It's another version of I love you, which is 143, which is May 23rd, which is what Mr. Rogers said. And then this is the kicker here. May 27th. Are you kidding me? Okay, so you can go, oh, hey, Barack Obama. Yeah, maybe, I don't know, maybe because he's the Antichrist. I don't know. Maybe this is what some of you are thinking. I don't know. And then, I love you very much. Oh, that's a stretch, tying it to Mr. Rogers, I love you, 143, which is May 23rd. All right. And then, a few days later, we had these tornadoes that hit from the May 27th. They started on the 27th and went through the 28th. Again, 2 days, just like the 22nd, 23rd. Just like the final days will be with the tsunamis, will be 2 days, going from 9 to 3. And then, what about this one? Bam! May 27th. That's what that equals. The chances of this right here are astronomical. That would hit this phrase in this article. Winds peeled away roofs would equal May 27th, and it happened on May 27th. It's off the charts. To just give you an idea, if you don't understand probabilities at all, one way I look at it is look at a 3 combo lock. Okay, I have a 3 combo lock in my garage, whatever, and it's 3 tumblers, and on each tumbler you have a possible of 0 through 9, which is really 10. Okay, on each of the 3, and so what's the total possible combinations that are on that? Well, the easiest way to look at it is that you start with 000, and that's 1, and then 001 is 2, and the 002 is 3, the third possibility, 004, going all the way up to 999. Well, how many is that? That's 10,000. Okay? That's 10,000. No, sorry, that's 1,000. Hold on. That's 10,000. 990. No, it's 1,000. Sorry, it's 1,000. Wow, it's 1,000 possibilities going from 000 to 999. Okay, now imagine this is a tumbler, and each letter is a possible A through Z, which is 26 possibilities per character or per space here. Okay, are you kidding? That's off the charts. So what are the chances that this tumbler, which has all these letters and each space, M-A-Y space T-W-E-N-T-Y space 7 or S-E-V-E-N-T-H, each is a tumbler, imagine that's a lock, and each tumbler has 26 letters on it, possible letters A through Z. What are the chances that they all rolled on exactly May 27th? Now, would you say that was random if that happened? If you were at the casino and you put in some money and you pulled the lever and you had an event that happened that you were part of, and you pulled the lever and it said the exact day of the event that was going on as you pulled the lever, and it came up and rolled May, M-A-Y, space, T-W-E-N, and so on. No, that is impossible. Sorry, but I think I'm proving it, and if you don't see it, there's nothing I can do for you. Okay, I'm passionate about this stuff. This is for your souls. This is for your souls, and for my brothers and sisters that know this stuff or are on board or want to be on board. This is for you. I want you to be encouraged. This is almost over. If it happens on these dates, these things happen on these dates or not, or if it's a little bit later, whatever. It's happening soon. Things are ramping up so fast. It's like a merry-go-round that just spinning so fast. I want to get off. I want to get off this world. This is insane. What's going on is off the charts. Okay, and then the next thing was giant doll houses. Okay, 1086. Okay, I don't remember if that number was that important. To me, it might be, but okay, let's go on here. Look, dollhouses. Barack Hussein Obama again. Oh my goodness, there's a shock. The Morning Star. That's what Lucifer was called. The bright and morning star. The morning star. Okay, Lucifer. And who's going to dwell in Barack Obama as the Antichrist? Lucifer, the morning star, which is what this is about. The birth of the Antichrist is the morning star or Lucifer dwelling in Barack Obama for the first time. Okay, Obama, that's covering up because that's like a wide thing. It actually says right there, Obama, clone of Akhenaten. He's a clone of Akhenaten. Part of his DNA is what they got from Akhenaten's mummy and other DNA to make him Jewish, to make him Muslim, and to make him a pharaoh, to make him different things. He is a clone. I'm sorry, I've been shown it by the Spirit of God, and then I have other evidence I've shown. Freeman Fly, if you look him up, he's done some amazing research on this stuff, and other people. And he's the only public official that I know of that doesn't have a birth certificate. The birth certificate that he has, like I've said before, is fake, and it's been proven fake by 2 houses of forgery, 2 houses of certification, I should say. And it's got 9 points of forgery, each one in Europe and one in the United States, proved it. Joseph Arpaio had a press conference, no one showed up virtually, proved it. His birth certificate is completely fake. Completely fake. And I've shared that in a couple of videos ago as far as some of the reasons why. One reason is all the E's, all the same letter would be different on a typewriter, which is when it should have been made when he was born. But no, it's proven that it's been done on a computer because every single letter is the same. All the same letters are all the same. They would all be different because the typewriter strike is different on each time you strike the same letter. Anyway, moving on. And then North Korea attack. That's a huge possibility. I've been talking about North Korea attacking Hawaii at this time and being blamed for it, possibly. I mean, North Korea now is going sideways with Trump on purpose. There's this thing about the peace, North Korea, and now Kim Jong-un is like, I don't know, no, I'm not going to launch missiles again. That's all theater. That's all soap opera that a lot of people are engaged with. Like yesterday, Mueller resigning or whatever and that whole thing. If you're following all that stuff and you know a lot about it, maybe it's for good reasons, you know what's going on in a sense, but if you're really following that stuff and not knowing what's really going on and this stuff's about to come, you're playing into the soap opera. It's really crazy. Okay, then after I looked up those things, which are completely obvious to me, I was like, twisters? What the heck? Why not tornadoes? I mean, you could use twisters, sure, but it just stuck out to me as another weird thing. Say twisters. And it would make sense because I'm thinking they're hiding stuff, so I thought there was something hidden behind here. And there is, of course, twisters. Now, you look at this whole list right here. And this one's just, everything is just highlighted because my pen highlighted it somehow when I captured the picture. But look through this. Before I say the obvious choice, what is the thing that comes from twisters that they're really trying to say? Just look at this. Look at each thing. Okay, take a second to look at each thing. And what stick out? This is part of a list. You know, there's a whole list of this number 798 in English gematria, and it stuck out for me right away. I'm going through this whole long list of stuff, and I'm just giving you an example of this short list picture I've taken. What is obvious? Time's up. Notre Dame fire. Are you kidding me? Notre Dame fire is the thing that sticks out. Now, that's an iPad Goat, like I've shown, the Notre Dame fire that happened on April 15th, going to the 16th, 2 days. It took that time to burn. They're into these things that happen 2 days. I wonder why, because the final destruction is going to happen 2 days. The tsunami is going to take 2 days, 9 to 3. 9 at evening in Hawaii, it's the same exact moment is a little after 3 a.m. and a little after 9 in p.m. in Hawaii is the same moment as a little after 3 in New York on the same moment in time. And both tsunami attacks. In fact, I'm even coming to a possibility on the same day could be the tsunami attacks and nuclear on land at the same day, or same 2 days basically. Or the tsunamis happen and then the nuclear attack happens within 3 days, or something like that, or maybe the next day, I don't know. But I'm kind of not sure about that. I mean, exactly the timing on those, I don't know. But Notre Dame fire, are you kidding me? And I've showed how in my last video, I think it's the last video. No, the video before the last one, I think, how the Notre Dame fire shows an iPad Goat when the Antichrist comes out on the boat. You can look that up on iPad Goat 2 video. If you don't know about that, you can look up iPad Goat 2 video, or iPad Goat 2, and you'll see the little video. And you can watch it through the whole thing if you don't know about it. Okay. And right behind him, this cathedral collapses, which looks a lot like Notre Dame, and it is. The spire falls exactly the same way. Spire fell on Notre Dame in France. It's crazy. Okay, so Notre Dame fire is a signal from them, and I showed how it relates to The Simpsons as well, and the scene with actually this episode with Homer Simpson and stuff, and this lamp falling at this exact time, which is, you know, April 15th through the 16th, which is shown on there through numbers. It's just crazy. And Simpsons have predicted so many different things. It's off the charts. Okay, so Notre Dame fire is what they're trying to point to. Well, why? Okay, I'll get to that. And then check this out. This is one of the people that was one of the contributors or one of the people on that article, Cantel Franco or whatever, however you say that. And look, there's the same number, 9798, right? As twisters. Ooh. And guess what? The same thing comes up. Notre Dame fire, out of all these possibilities. And that stuck out in. So that, in my mind, confirms Notre Dame fire. Okay? So they're trying to say something about Notre Dame fire. What? What is it? Well, it's right next to... so there's Notre Dame fire right there, right? Okay. And now check this out. Notre Dame fire, and then look at the Jewish gematria of it. 415. Are you kidding me? Do you not see this by now? Hopefully you do. If you don't, wake up. This is your wake-up call before all the crud hits the fan. 415 is when the Notre Dame fire happened. And it's right in front of your face, and it's always been there in English gematria. Okay, it's right there. I'm passionate about this stuff, people. Okay? I'm trying to save lives and trying to warn people. That's what the Lord wants. His compassion and his heart is open for all of you. Those who know him, those who know him very little, those who don't know him. Please, I beg you before all this stuff happens. But the Lord showed me that most people won't hear this. Most people won't understand it. Most people won't believe it until after things start happening. But better late than never. Okay, Notre Dame fire, boom. And then, what do we have after that? Well, I'll get to that soon. What relates to Twister and the Notre Dame fire? I will get into that. Now look at this. Okay, this is the other contributor in that article, apparently. AP, right? The article about 1 dead, 130 injured, and all that, right? Okay, here, look at this, his name. 42. What's 42? Well, you'll find out. I'll show you soon. By the way, 142 is 142nd day, which is May 22nd, which is 2 days of the bars, 22nd, 23rd. Also, 142 is May 22nd for the Israel, the fires. which there it is right there, 142. It's showing the day, and 42 is another number for the Antichrist because he's going to be in power for 42 months. That's biblical. It's 42. Okay. And then another thing I found was Dayton, Ohio. So they mentioned that. Okay. And then 600. Now we're back to 600 again. Remember the Noah, the flood? These things relate to each other. And if you, like I kind of expressed earlier, if you understand numbers at all, you realize that these things coming back around to each other in circles, and all these different things relating to each other is not coincidence. It's planned. Okay, you can't just take random things and relate them all together. You can't. You just can't. The numbers don't lie. Okay, Oroville Dam. This is 756, is 600, and Oroville Dam. And look at the simple gematria. There's 666 also. So, I mean, oh man, it just goes and goes. This stuff goes and goes. And you just have to see it. You have to have the eyes open to see it. If you don't see it, I'm showing you it. Hopefully you see it now. Okay, these things relate to each other. It's really crazy. Okay, another thing, well, I'll get into that in a minute here, but what I want to add is, if you take, let me go back to here. So remember I said that the twisters, remember the twisters? Go back to the twisters. Remember twisters and this guy was 798, which was Notre Dame fire. Now remember, Notre Dame fire was 415. Okay, so that relates, Notre Dame fire, remember, relates to twisters. So what was right next to twisters in the article? 55. So let's do this. If you take 55, okay. I do it here. No, I didn't do it here. I did it there. So, if you take Notre Dame date, which is that day in Jewish gematria, and you add the 55 because twisters equals Notre Dame fire, you add the 55 next to those twisters, guess what you get? June 9th, 2019. 6-9. So I said 6-6, June 6th, and 6-9 are what the apple was doing. It hit Obama's foot on 6-6, June 6th, and then opened up on June 9th. If May 29th is the birth, these are the different things. Are you kidding me? Are you getting this yet? Hopefully you are. That is impossible for all this stuff to work out this way. It's impossible. Okay? Please see that. Please open your eyes, open your heart to this truth. Open your eyes and your heart to Jesus, please. Man, this is right here in front of your face, okay? And we'll go to the next thing. Last probably thing. Okay, the last thing I want to get into, maybe, I'm not going to be definitive on that, but is the other event that was fire that happened on May 29th. Okay, remember the water? I said there's this massive storm I showed you that happened over Weber's Falls. Are you kidding me? 6 days later, which I said something, what water's going to happen 6 days later. And then I didn't imagine fire again. So on the 22nd, 23rd, there's fire in Israel on both days, and then there's this water event at Weber's Falls. But now we have, yesterday, a man set himself on fire near the White House. It made national news, of course. Look at the number of man set, and I saw the article, I was like, okay, that's a fire on that day. Let me look at the gematria and see if that's the, look, it's 6-6-12. June 6th, again, 2019 adds up to 12. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And a lot of these things add up to Barack Obama because he's the guy on 6-6-12. 6-6-2019. And here it is again. Barack Hussein, but Sabarka. Another one of his names was Sabarka. Okay? He's had many names, more than three full names. Several with real estate dealings and all kinds of stuff. This guy is dirtier than, I don't know what. Dirtier than a piece of poop. Okay? That's pretty dirty. I mean, seriously, this guy is so dirty. It's ridiculous. 211 is also significant. I'm not going to get into it. 70, oh man. Look, Obama, son of perdition. Are you kidding me? So basically, man set himself on fire. I mean, are you kidding? The number is June 6th, 2019 backwards. I mean, are you kidding me? Barack Hussein Sabarka, Obama, son of perdition. And again, nobody else that is the so-called among Christians is the contender for Antichrist pops up. Why is that? Because the numbers don't lie. The numbers do not lie. If I haven't proven this to you, I don't know what to do. You know, Prince William doesn't show up. Donald Trump doesn't show up. The people that think Donald Trump are, you know, all these different people, they don't show up. No mystery person that we don't know shows up. Okay, some guy that keeps on showing up. His name is Balakala Manikada. I mean, I don't know. And I'm like, oh, this is the guy that nobody in the world knows. He's a little horn or whatever. No, it's somebody that everybody knows that they trust. Because when things go down, things start blowing up and crashing down. People have to look at some person. He's going to have all the answers, and that's not going to be some guy nobody knows. That makes no sense. No sense whatsoever. Okay? Bam. Now, okay, let me go back here again. Okay, so again, man sets himself on fire. You could go, oh, that's a coincidence that it's 12/6/6, which is June 6th, 2019, backwards, broken down. Oh, no, that's just a coincidence. Okay, and then it relates to Barack Hussein Sabarka again. Oh, that's not really his full name. You know, I don't know about that, even though Sabarka was one of his names. Okay, and, you know, I don't know about that. You know, Obama, son of perdition. I mean, that's from the Bible, and, you know, I don't believe the Bible, and, you know, whatever. I don't know. And then May 29th, the day it happened, man sets himself on fire on May 29th. It's the exact gematria. Are you kidding me? So, I've shown you a bunch of stuff, and something's going to happen. And I want to point out, this guy who set himself on fire, okay, it's one of two things, which I'm leaning more towards one thing, because I'm kind of, like I said, a very detective mind. I watched the video. You can watch it. There's the guy that takes this video that's super close. I think he's an actor. I really do. And I think the person who is on fire, it could be someone who was so mental or spiritually possessed, or mind. I would say more like this. I would say they're mind controlled, because MK Ultra is real, and they've mind controlled so many people to shoot a lot of people and then themselves, and do all kinds of stuff. MK Ultra is real. It's been around for about 60 years, maybe more. It's gotten better and better and better. They can beam thoughts and feelings into anybody they want, or even groups. It's off the charts. I've shown it. It's crazy. And there's a lot of research and stuff on that. There's patents on all kinds of technology. It's crazy. Okay, so I think either two things by my detective work. Either this person is completely brainwashed, and this guy just walked. He started kind of pacing kind of fast to kind of look like he needed to catch up to something, and then he started walking slowly. But he's not screaming. He's burning alive. If you believe that he was really a person being burned alive. Okay. And so I'm saying he could have been mind controlled, where he had no emotion, like a zombie, and he's burning alive. Okay. One possibility. Second possibility to me, and more likely, is that this person is in a burn suit. And one of the things that kind of show that to me is his face is really, really, really dark. And the fire is coming off mostly his body and not really off his head, even though it looks like it, but it's really coming off his body on the other side of his head. And then the way he's walking, if you watch the video, I'm pretty decent at body language and facial language and things like that. It looks like he's trying to catch up. He's looking down at himself while he's walking, and he speeds up a little bit, like he's trying to get to a mark, and then he stops, turns a little bit, and then the police show up conveniently. I mean, right on time. Many police. When do police ever show up that fast? When do they ever show up? And if this guy was burning for a long time, he would be burnt to a crisp, and he wouldn't even be standing or walking, or certainly not walking casually. Again, a lot of these false flags, they defy logic. But I will give, because I don't know a ton about this, I looked at it a short time. This is my first inclination, but the other one I think is definitely super possible. Beyond that, I don't really see a possibility. And that's just me. I could be wrong. But he's burning alive. Okay, I think this is a really good suit that maybe looks like it's a facial mask. It looks like it's a person maybe, but it's darkened. And you can see, and later on when the police show up, you can see their face somewhat. Is their the lighter face or whatever. And people say, oh, maybe he's just all burned at that point. It doesn't make sense to me. And like I said, his body language, how he's walking, he looks like somebody who was on a set of a movie and they're trying to get to their mark and then stop, and they're kind of speeding up and then slowing down, looking down at himself to make sure he's fully engulfed in flames. I mean, there's just so many little subtle things that people do in their body language and their facial language when you see their face or their body, that I can read it. I mean, I'm not saying I'm super special like that, but I can just read it most of the time. And I've been in sales for like 27 years. So if I can't read people's body language and their facial expressions of that, then I was in the wrong business for a long time. Okay. Anyway, so this guy burning alive supposedly, and that's what they want to do. They want to freak people out because this guy's burning alive and he's not screaming or anything. He's walking casually, and I'm sure most of the depictions of him for way far distance, and then they just show him walking very slowly. But back here, when he was back here, over here, he was kind of picking up the pace, and then he slowed down again, and he turned, looked like on a mark. And being ready for the police to show up right away. Then they doused him with, fire extinguishers and stuff. I mean, it seems so fake to me. Okay, it just does. And it ended up hitting on this day. Okay, and I'm showing you these things on this exact day in Gematria. Are you kidding me? And equal to 666, 6612, or June 6, 2019. Okay, without beating a dead horse, I'll leave it at that. Okay, there's some other things I could talk about. There's plenty. There's a few things I want to see probably. What else? Oh, this is huge. Oh my goodness. I'm glad I didn't stop the video. Okay, so, wow, this is good. And 007 Stalled 7 brought this up as well. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Okay, so this is important. This is crazy. Okay, so when these events started happening in May 22nd to 23rd, we were in the 22nd week of the year. Look it up. And then this next week, starting I think June 3rd, when Trump is going to be in England with the Queen, well, I think 3rd, 4th, and 5th or something, it's going to be the 23rd week. Okay, this is crazy. What's going on with Trump? Trump may be assassinated. I mean, I believe he's going to be assassinated at some point, but he may be assassinated sometime within that time. I think possibly up to the 12th of June. This is my prediction. This is my rough prediction. And I'm guessing. I'm not prophesying or anything like that. I'm just guessing. Trump is going to be assassinated, I believe, somehow. And then, like I'm also saying, there's a big possibility. I'm not saying for sure, but I think Obama will maybe be shot in the head or something, possibly. And then he may recover from that dramatically, and people are like, oh my gosh, he's the Messiah or whatever. And then he'll be presented as the Messiah and everything. That may happen, that may not happen. I'm just saying, but I'm getting a feeling of some things that might happen. I got something of some numbers, a vision one time of some numbers of 88, which I think may relate to Trump, and then 605, and it may be June 5th, when he's over there, Trump may get shot at or assassinated or something. I don't know. But that's going to be from the 3rd of June to the 11th, I think it is, of June, is the 23rd week of the year. So that's 23. 22 is significant because we had some events happen. May 21st through, oh man, don't quote me on this. May 22nd through 29th, or 22nd through 30th, no, 31st. I'm sorry, it would be through June 2nd. Anyway, whatever. These events happened in the 22nd week. Started the thing I've been talking about in my last video, and then the 23rd week is when Trump is in England on, I believe, the June 3rd, and then guess what? In that week we have 6/6. Okay, so the 6th. So think about this. It's the 6th in the 23rd week, and of course 6 is upside down, so that's 9/23, and then we have the 6/9, which is the 9th. So we have the 9. As far as when the apple possibly opens. So we have 9, and in the 23rd week, 9/23 again. There's all these 9/23s all over the place. And we have the 6/23 as well, which is Barack Obama. Again, I said, I had a dream where Jesus said to me, he was right next to me, it was very super short, I couldn't believe how short it was. He said, 9/23 is 6/23. And so Barack Obama is 6/23 also for a number of reasons. That's his name, his full name, I think, in English gematria. Barack Hussein Obama, I think, is 623. Also, this last year in Chinese lunar calendar, his birthday, which is August 4th of 2018, in a Chinese calendar, that day was 6th month, 23rd day of the Chinese lunar calendar, which is bizarre. There's all these things. It's crazy. These people are nuts. These people are, and see, all this stuff can only coordinate for over hundreds of years, and all this stuff come together and culminate this time, or even thousands of years, moved by demons. Okay, I'm talking about the evil side, the stuff that I'm showing you, a lot of the evil side. And then God's doing what he's doing behind the scenes and all these crazy dates and numbers and stuff, and that's all good. But the enemy's trying to do his thing, and that's only done by supernatural, smart, beyond our abilities, demons that possess these people all over, media and everything, and leadership, and all these trillion-dollar families and stuff. It's crazy. So that week is 623 and 923. So 923 is 623 in a way. Isn't that insane? And then Trump's going to be over there at during that week, which is again June 3rd through June 11th, I think, or is it 10th? Maybe the 10th. And I'm saying something could happen the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. 12th may be the last day. That's another weird. That's 6/12, which is 666 too. I mean, right in that week and that time frame, right in there, there's all kinds of stuff that's going to be happening, I believe. It's very possible. Like I said, it could be signaling. There could be. I think there's definitely going to be some events, but it could be signaling to just after that. But Pentecost is 6/9, like I said. That's super substantial. And there's these 50s pointing to Pentecost. It's crazy. Okay, my brother saying, Aaron at Redeemed 44 YouTube channel saying he had a dream about 50 twisters or tornadoes, right? That's Pentecost, 50s Pentecost. That $50 bill I showed you with the Orville Dam breaking, or maybe, it's Hoover Dam breaking, and maybe even relating to Orville Dam breaking around that time, is on the $50 bill. I mean, it's crazy. So that was a big one I want to share. God, there's just so much. There's probably a lot more I need to share, but I'm going to leave it at this. So hopefully you were blown away. Hopefully I gave you a bunch of stuff, a bunch of details. Didn't do it perfectly. Like I said, it's quick and dirty. Well, maybe not so quick. But when I mean quick and dirty, I mean quick. I put this together so quick, and it's dirty. I mean, it's all over the place. So it's not thought through as much as I would want, but that takes hours. So anyway, God bless you. I hope you receive this well, and I hope you come to the Lord. I hope you come to Jesus. He loves you. He wants the best for you. He will do everything for you. He will, I mean, it might be hard at first, and it might be hard to deal with your stuff and to obey him and not go your own way and everything, but it is worth it. It is so worth it. He's going to exalt the people that follow him like you can't even imagine. No eye has seen, no ear has heard what God has planned. No eye has seen, no ear has heard. I'm going to tell you that. That's the only thing that motivates me in this life. I mean, I have motivations. I have my family, I have my children, I have my wife, I have other people. I am motivated to help people. I really am. That's huge. But a big motivation through the hardest times I've gone through is that it's going to be great. And God is going to bless me and my family and others because of what I do and the struggles I go through for others and my family. It's all worth it. Would you rather suffer for no reason or suffer for a good reason? Suffer for a good reason, okay? That's my advice. So this is Exalted Lamb 1, over and out. Oh, wait, one more thing. Oh, I'm glad I didn't do this yet. I got one last thing this is a big one too. Hold on. And we were talking about June 9th. Oh, man, this is crazy. June 9th, remember? It's the moon where it's half black and half white. I've talked about this in other iPad Go 2 videos, but June 9th, this is my time zone, June 9th in United States for the most part. I mean, in other parts not, but it's going to start to form, and they're definitely in Israel at this time. It's crazy. Are you kidding me? This is the twin birth. This is the yin and yang. People, especially some of you that go, oh, God wouldn't speak to you, and, this world is, oh, please. God spoke through a donkey. I mean, are you kidding? God speaks in so many, you know what? That's actually a figure of speech. It's called condescensio. God condescends down to human understanding because he loves us in many things, in stupid things. God can speak through anything he wants. He's speaking through the inaccurate date of Israel, okay, the inaccurate Hebrew calendar right now, and many inaccurate calendars. He's speaking through it, okay, with the blood moons and the solar eclipses and all these different dates that hit those times. He's speaking through the current Hebrew calendar right now, which is Pentecost on 6/9. And that is a twin birth, like I said. Twin birth. Okay, maybe the revealing of the twin birth. I think the twin birth possibly happened on May 29th, and then the apple, hits Rama's foot on June 6th, and then opens up on June 9th. However this happens, throwing it out there for you. Take what you want. We'll see what happens. You've been warned. Or as I like to say, you've been served. This Exalted Lamb 1, finally, over and out.